Welcome to a haunting fusion of classic horror where shadows stretch beyond the screen and terror seeps through the cracks of reality. Tonight, we bring together two sinister forces, the silent spectre of Nosferatu and the creeping psychological dread of the front room.
These films, though separated by time and technique, share a chilling essence. One lingers in gothic gloom, the other distorts the fragile boundaries of the mind, and together, they create a nightmarish symphony unlike any other. So dim the lights and brace yourselves for a journey into the unknown.
Nosferatu, a masterpiece of silent cinema, an echo from the shadows of 1922. It introduced audiences to Count Orlok, a gaunt and ghastly figure whose elongated fingers and hollow eyes cast a spell of perpetual unease. The film's use of light and shadow, jagged and expressionistic, conjures an atmosphere of suffocating isolation.
Indeed, isolation and alienation lie at the heart of this film. Orlok isn't just a monster. He's an outsider, an unknowable entity that lurks at the fringes of human comprehension. The villagers sense him, fear him, but cannot truly grasp his malevolent presence. His power is not merely in his physical form, but in the unknown he represents.
And that fear of the unknown, it still haunts us today. The way Nosferatu crafts its horror relies purely on the creeping dread of what we cannot fully see or understand.
Fast forward to the modern era, and we step into the suffocating confines of the front room. A film that doesn't haunt through shadow, but through the unraveling of reality itself. Here, horror is not lurking in the corner, it's inside the mind.
Unlike Nosferatu's tangible monster, the front room deals in intangible fears, the kind that gnaw at the edges of sanity. The film twists our expectations, leading us through a psychological labyrinth where perception is unreliable and paranoia is king.
And perhaps most terrifyingly, the front room reminds us that the greatest horrors are not always supernatural. Sometimes the mind, our own thoughts, fears, and doubts, becomes the true monster.
And this is where the magic happens. Imagine Count Orlok not as an external entity, but as a presence that festers within. Instead of stalking his victims through shadowed alleys, he creeps through the corridors of the mind, distorting perception and warping reality.
Precisely. The alienation of Nosferatu and the psychological instability of the front room intertwine seamlessly. Orlok transforms from a creature of the night into an embodiment of internal dread, a manifestation of fears too deeply buried to name.
The silent terror of Nosferatu becomes the silent scream within the front room. The mashup creates an entity that doesn't just exist in a castle or a decaying room, it exists in us, feeding off our uncertainties and existential fears.
And that is why horror persists, why it evolves, but never fades. Nosferatu and the front room may belong to different cinematic worlds, but they share a common heartbeat, the fear of what we cannot control, of what lies just beyond understanding.
Their horror is timeless because fear is timeless. The unknown will always be terrifying, the human mind will always be fragile, and so horror will always find a way to remind us of these truths.
So what is it that truly terrifies you? The monster lurking in the dark? Or the one whispering inside your own mind?
Something to think about before you turn off the lights tonight. Subscribe and join the Adam Galaxy live stream for engaging chat.